It's Monday, September 4th, 2023. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. I hope you're having a good weekend. Before we start the video, please make sure to like, make sure to share, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, I want to remind all of you, Matt and myself will be heading out to Texas early tomorrow morning to meet up with Aaron. And this trip is not about going there and having fun. We're going to have some fun, of course. We're going to do a little surfing at the lake. But really, we're heading to Texas because we want to talk to some of you. Bill Holter said he will do his best to stop by the house on Thursday. We have some other people who are going to make an effort to meet up with us, who are some pretty well-educated people when it comes to what's happening to the U.S. economy, how we should prepare. And really, this trip is about exposing some of the problems with the U.S. economy, and not just the problems, but what are the solutions? How should we be preparing? How should we be protecting ourselves? We're going there to retain some knowledge. We're going there to do some training. We're going to hit the range, and we're going to talk to some of you too. So hopefully we're going to be able to meet up with a handful of the listeners and get their perception of what's happening in this economy and what they're doing also to prepare and to protect themselves. In my opinion, it's not just about having a can of beans or a couple bottles of water. You're going to need a lot more in order to prepare and protect yourself from what has begun. And this whole thing with this economy, what's happening socially, you really need to be educating yourself right now. So I hope everybody tunes in this week. I think we're going to have some really, really good videos. And I think that if you learn one thing from it, if I learn one thing from it, it's completely worth it. So looking forward to that, looking forward to speaking with some of you. And I think it's going to be a benefit for everybody. We have got to be doing everything in our power now to be educating ourselves to become more reliant and more independent human beings, and getting out of the system that is breaking down. The system's overloaded, ladies and gentlemen. There's so many people dependent on the systems. They are the debt slaves. And if you depend on the system, you're going to lose. Because I truly believe that what is coming is going to be a Mad Max scenario. It is going to be another Great Depression, quite possibly even worse. And the majority of this country is not prepared to deal with what's going to happen socially. They're not prepared to deal with what's going to happen financially. They're not prepared to deal with starvation, homelessness. These are the kind of problems that millions of people are going to be facing. So we all have to wake up. We've got to face reality, and we need to be preparing. Now, I want to share a couple articles with you today. This first one coming from the economiccollapse.com. It's titled, Mad Max Conditions Are Coming, Desperation is Rising as the Economy Rapidly Deteriorates and Food Costs Soar. Now, the question is, how far would you go if you had to feed your family? And I hope that you never ever have to answer this question. I hope you never have to find out. But I think some people are going to find out. And we're just seeing so much craziness on the streets of America now, right now, during somewhat stable times. What does this look like a year from now as the economy worsens? What's it look like 6 months from now? 2.4 billion people across this globe did not have enough food to eat. That was last year. 900 million of them were facing severe food insecurity, and those numbers are going to be even higher this year in 2023. 670,000 full-time jobs have been lost in just the past 2 months. And on Friday, we witnessed the worst payrolls report since the Great Recession. So do you kind of see the narrative here? That things are heading in a way worse direction. They're not improving. They're heading in a very negative path. We're not seeing any improvement anywhere really in the economy. We're just seeing more and more people losing jobs. We're seeing more wages going down. We're seeing more people having to work multiple jobs just to keep their heads above water. We're seeing more people going deeper into debt. The nation, the federal debt is skyrocketing. The deficits are skyrocketing. So you see where this is all going. In the past 2.5 years, inflation has soared to 16%, ladies and gentlemen. 16%. And yet there will be people that write me and tell me that everything is okay. I just don't get it. 61% of people working in this country are living paycheck to paycheck. We hear that every week. I think the number's higher. Mortgage rates on average right now for a 30-year, 7.5%. Credit card APRs now are averaging above 21%. 78% of Americans earning less than $50,000 are living paycheck to paycheck. Now the median, I looked at the national debt clock today, and the median income in the U.S. is sitting right about $36,000. Now the median income back in 2000, the year 2000, was $31.9, so almost $32,000. So think about that. Since 2000, 23 years later, the median income is only up $4,000. And you look at everything else that has skyrocketed since then. 99,887,000 people in this country right now are not in the labor force. We lost almost 5 million manufacturing jobs since the year 2000. That is, I mean, think we've lost so many manufacturing jobs in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but just think from 2000 to 2023, another 5 million manufacturing jobs have become obsolete. Total household debt has climbed to a staggering $17.06 trillion. As economic conditions get worse in this country, and I've looked these numbers up today on the national debt clock, 85 million people in this country are on Medicaid, 42 million are on food stamps, 43 million living in poverty. We have $193 trillion in unfunded liabilities. And we're going to see more crime, more store thefts, more robberies, you name it. It's going to continue to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. So the Mad Max conditions have already begun. The question is now, how bad is it going to get? It's getting pretty bad right now. But again, this article, Mad Max conditions are coming on the economic collapse today. Good article, but I just paraphrased a little bit through that article and added a few things. But you know, it's absolutely appalling to think as a kid that I would grow up and see the condition of the United States in shambles like it is right now. Look at the stores. They're locking up toothpaste. They're locking up batteries. They're locking up meat. They're locking up Tide detergent. I went and bought, 2 nights ago, I bought a 9-volt battery at Walgreens for one of my microphones. It cost me over $11. The woman had to come over and unlock this case to get my 9-volt battery for me. And it cost me over $11 for a 9-volt battery. I want you to really think about this. We have a lot of desperate people in America right now, and they're going to get much more desperate. Desperate people do desperate things, folks. And when people get hungry, I mean, right now, I think a lot of this crime is just for economic benefit. I think it's for entertainment. But we're going to come to a point where things are going to really get out of control. And that point comes when people begin to not get enough food. And of course, when they cannot rob stores, when they've robbed all the grocery stores, when they've robbed all the Macy's and Nordstroms, you know exactly where they're going next. I hope you're prepared to deal with these types of conditions. This is why we go to Texas. This is why we go and we train and we absorb knowledge and we talk to people. And you have to be doing these type of things right now. You cannot just sit on the couch and hope it all goes away. You've got to be proactive. Again, you know, a lot of people will say, why don't you smile and laugh? Because this is 15 to 20 minutes of time out of my day to share with all of you, to hopefully inspire some people to open up their minds, to wake up a little bit, to make some preparations, and to better their lives. And what I see happening to my country right now, a country that is in shambles, a country that is going down the toilet right now, socially, spiritually, morality, financially, it's going down. I can't laugh, I can't giggle, I can't make jokes. This is serious business. There's no time for basketball games, there's no time for football games, there's no time for baseball games. I don't endorse even going to movies because I don't give Hollywood 1 second of my time or 1 cent of my money. We got big trouble, ladies and gentlemen, and people better wake up. They better, you know, stop watching the TikTok videos. They better stop watching their Netflix, and they better get involved with what's happening here right now. Your pension's on the line. Your jobs are on the line. Your kids' futures are on the line. Your purchasing power is on the line. Everything is on the line, ladies and gentlemen, and much, much more. Here's another one today. Credit card delinquency rate near 9% for some borrowers. This is going to get much worse because now the student loan repayment begins, I believe, in October, and this is going to put extreme pressure on these borrowers. Subprime consumers are falling behind. Delinquency rate now at 8.9% versus the 7.49% a year ago. More than 80% of U.S. consumers had a credit card. Nearly 48%, or nearly half, 48%, carry a balance. The percentage of credit card debt more than 30 days past due is up 6 straight quarters. This is not a sign of an improving economy. Credit card debt now above $1 trillion. The average APR, according to this article, is now 24%. And think about how many people now. The average median income, $36,000. What's the average rent payment in America? $1,850. Average mortgage payment, $2,750. These numbers don't add up. And then you're looking at an APR on average, according to this article, and this was on MarketWatch, by the way, 24% they say is the average credit card APR now. And the average median income is $36,000 a year. This is 180% unsustainable, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Many people are going to be forced into bankruptcy. And that means that if their credit was bad now, it's going to get a lot worse. And so you're going to have a lot more people in this country that are going to have destroyed credit. They're not even going to be able to rent a room. How are they going to go rent an apartment? How are they going to rent a house? How will they buy a house? They have no money to put down. Their credit's shot, and we're now entering into a Great Depression. Bad news. Bad news. You've got to be preparing. Here's another one from the New York Post. Group of bandits breaks into 13 homes, steal luxury cars in New York City. Thieves stole a Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, Range Rover, Audi, and other high-end vehicles. Now, this started back in June. It's continuing till today. And this is happening in upscale neighborhoods such as Whitestone, Bayside, Jamaica Estates, Holliswood, Manhattan Beach, Bay Ridge, etc. They're stealing cars. They're stealing clothes. They're stealing jewelry. They're getting into people's houses. They're confronting homeowners. My question to all of you is, what happens when somebody goes knock, knock at your door and they want to steal your clothes, your jewelry, your cars? So this is what we're seeing happening more and more. We've been watching this probably at least over the last 24 months, where these thieves are now entering nice neighborhoods, and they want nice cars, and they want nice jewelry, and they're going to come to the nice houses for it. And it's happening right now. Most of America moved into the suburbs, or they moved into, beautiful homes in Beverly Hills, or some of these beautiful areas like Bayside and Jamaica Estates and Bay Ridge in New York to get out of the city, feeling they would be safer there. Not anymore. The crime is coming to you, and they're going to be knocking at your door one day, unfortunately, and most people are not ready. This is why we go to Texas. This is why we train. This is why we prepare. This is why we talk to people. You've got to be extremely versed now spiritually, financially, physically. You got to be training. You have to have security, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is going to get out of control, unfortunately, in my opinion. I'll close with this. In the past 2.5 years, inflation, this was on Fox Business, has soared 16%. Grocery prices in the last 2.5 years up 20%. Energy prices up 38%. So Taylor Swift, Beyonce, they're not going to save the economy, ladies and gentlemen. You need to wake up. You need to be raising as much capital as possible. You need to be working the side hustles. You got to be doing anything you can right now to pay off your debt and start building capital. The people who are broke, the people with bad credit, the people who don't have the skill sets, the people who just hope this would all go away, they're going to be in very, very big trouble. And right now, they're beginning to realize that. Look at the delinquency rates with credit cards right now. More and more people falling behind on their house payments. People are beginning to realize that things are breaking, and they're beginning to realize and wake up to the fact that they're not ready, they're not prepared, and now they're not going to be able to get ready because they're broke. And if you're broke, it's going to be very, very difficult to prepare now. That is for sure. I'm going to leave it there. We'll be taking off for Texas very, very early tomorrow morning. So I'll try to get a video up maybe before I leave or later on in the day when we get to Texas. So stay tuned. Should have some really, really good videos coming up in Texas. Hope to meet a bunch of you while we're out there. We're going to be very limited on time, but we're going to do the best that we can to meet some of you. God bless. Have a great day. And hope to see all of you very, very soon.